So good morning, everyone. My name is Edward McNair, and I'm the Executive Director of NANOG. And I want to take a few minutes and give you kind of a little background or an organization, how it works, how it functions. I'm assuming for a lot of you people in the room, this is the first time that you've been at a NANOG meeting. And just want to give you a scope of the organization, what are the things that we do, and how you can kind of take advantages of of what we have to offer, and in some cases how you can come around and maybe volunteer and be a part of the org and kind of help to kind of empower the next generation of network professionals. So, what is a NOG? We're community-driven organizations. Our NANOG itself, our roots date back to 1987 when Merit Networks was tasked with managing the NSF net. NANOG's original charter was formed in 1994. In 2011, the NANOG community voted to separate itself from Merit and to create the entity that we now know as NANOG. And NANOG is the first and is still the largest NOG in the world. So what do NOGs do? We put on conferences and showcases of innovative and educational content that's aimed to drive new solutions for network communities' greatest challenges. We mentor the next generation of network professionals. We empower those who are supporting internet access in their communities across North America. And we actively encourage diversity, inclusion, and collaboration within our communities. So what does the community look like? What does NANOG as a kind of an organization extend? We have about 13,000 plus industry professionals that are part of our ecosystem in some form or another. On average, our conferences have around 1,000 people who attend. Their average 200 plus attendees are new to an event. We do have a NANOG never been to a conference before, and we represent about 20 plus communities across the world. All right. So network operators group, kind of diving down into details what it is a NOG. They're community organizations committed to supporting local or regional internet professionals, guided by the principle of an open exchange of knowledge and expertise. They're formed by network operators and engineers and experts within their particular internet communities. Their efforts go to improve the quality and the availability of the internet within their regions. So what is special about NOGs and what makes them different than other kind of community organizations? Well, they're driven by individuals and not corporations. There are no corporations that are part of the NANOG in terms of membership of the organization. So there are individuals from corporations, but these individuals come together and they represent their organizations and even their themselves as individuals to kind of help push forward the efforts of NOGs within their particular regions. They're educational. Technical presentations, which are available to all. NANOG has a whole wealth of talks and that are on site of up on YouTube. Currently, I think that NANOG has had 2.6 million views of our content that's sitting on the internet. And some of these talks have had over 100,000 individual views. So it's an ability to go out and find information, again, that's freely available, trying to promote the internet ecosystems within the particular regions. And people from all over the globe. I had one person reach out to me from China, and they wanted to be able to translate our content into Chinese to be able to use it back again in their communities, because the best and the brightest in the industry come to participate and be a part of the NANOG conferences. They're local. NOGs are local and designed to support their particular communities and their particular needs, and they're neutral, non-commercial, and non-political. There may be commercial entities that want to support NANOG. There are people who represent organizations, commercial organizations who participate in NANOG, but as an organization, we are neutral and non-political. That doesn't mean that sometimes political issues come up. There may be legislation that people need to be aware of that may affect how they operate their networks. But as an organization, we do not go about and solicit or push political organizations to put out a particular agenda. So how can you benefit from a NOG? You can learn current best practices and from industry professionals, obtain knowledge and training on the latest technologies, discuss current issues and challenges faced by your local community, and form strategic business relationships and crucial peering relationships. one thing that is kind of an unspoken, I mean, NANOG is an educational nonprofit, but there's a lot of business transactions that go on within here. We have the top people within the industry often who are in our space. There's a reason why, that you see sponsors around, because this is a great place to do business. Our primary focus is education, but as a part of the people who are here and participate, it is a good place to form business relationships and to form a community of people of like-minded people. So here's some of the resources that are available. If you want to take a picture with your phone, if you feel like it, we have a mailing list that goes back into, I think, the early 2000s, where you've got hundreds, thousands of entries. In fact, I know what it actually is. I think there's 5.6 thousand entries that have gone into our mailing list. Our conference presentations and tutorials can be found on YouTube. We have an outreach section. And in terms of the internal things that we do, we're trying to venture out and having outreach beyond our conferences to get more people engaged and involved within the NANOG community. And also articles. We produce content, anything from interviews of people in our community, some of the latest things which are happening. We have this new series that we put together called Internet Innovators, and we take and promote some of the people who have kind of help create the foundation of the internet today. So there's articles out from various people who've participated and made our community what it is today. So some job statistics, in fact, currently there are 383,000 people employed in the field of network operations within North America. Yet there are currently about 30,000 unfulfilled jobs. That wasn't the last time I wrote this. Now that some things have changed in the economy, I don't know what that number is. It may have changed. It's predicted to increase by close to 20,000, 19 plus thousand per year as the internet continues to grow. And we compete with an industry of about 700,000 open jobs. So it's a competitive place. NANOG is a great place to often find your next gig. So another reason of being part of the community. So NANOG Governance, what does our structure look like for governance? There we go. This is our current board of directors. NANOG is run by a board of directors that's voted by the community. Currently, all of our directors are from within the community itself. As the executive director, I serve on the committee, and also so does Kat, who's over there, who's runs our PC. Whoever the chair of the PC is also on the board as well as a non-voting member. This is current NANOG staff. There are 8 of us that work together to do all that you see around with some support from a few contractors. So we do a lot for a group our size, and so kind of hats off to the NANOG staff and all the work they do to have all that you see around you. We have committees. We have formed committees within volunteers. To be on a committee, you have to be a member. Who are volunteers who come together and help kind of set the direction of the organization. We have a program committee, elections committee, audit committee, compensation, mentorship committee, education, and scholarship committees. And these are, there's a board member on each one of these committees. And then there are volunteers who participate in these committees who help to kind of push where the organization going in those particular areas. Program committee. The program committee is at the very heart of NANOG. I've often tell my staff that if our program is strong, we could have our presentation in a field and people would come to see it. We could be in the best hotels, but if the program is inferior, people will not come to our conferences. So it is at the very heart of what we do of the organization. If you really want to get involved and help set the direction of NANOG and the tone where it goes, is really be a part of the program committee. Our program is made up of industry professionals. The PC itself self-organizes. So once the board selects who's going to be on the PC, from a list of volunteers. And then once assembled, they form their own kind of governing structure, their chair, their vice chair, etc. And they review all of the talks that come in to make sure that they are of a caliber that would be interesting and educational to people within the community. So it is for the community, it's led by the community and for the community. And our talks, as the board and as staff, there is a separation of church and state. The board cannot say the PC needs to talk about this or these are the talks that you need to do. This is something which happens within the PC. It's done on purpose to assure that our content is always relevant and meaningful to our community. For program committee, some updates. An effort better to serve the community. The program committee then breaks itself down into smaller areas of focus. There's one group that tries to focus on getting the best keynote speakers that we can, and we have 2 keynote speakers for this particular event. We have a women in tech group. We have moderators, lightning talks, tutorials and tracks, hackathons. So subcommittees that focus on those areas to ensure that they're all of the best quality. So if you want to get involved on a broader scale, first of all, I would say become a member and vote. That's crucial to setting the leadership and the direction of the organization. Mentor, we have a mentorship committee where we're trying to focus on helping to mentor and bring forward the next generation of professionals. Teach, we're trying to expand what we do and have more formalized education within NANOG. So if you are interested in developing curriculum or presenting curriculum, please reach out to the education committee to kind of help support those efforts. Present. We're always looking for people to say, hey, I've got a great idea, something I want to share with the community. And there's 2 levels. One, you can do a lightning talk, which are kind of small and quick, or you can do a full-on presentation. And it's a great opportunity to expand your career, to show what you know, to show your community that you're involved in your area of expertise. And again, this is core to how NANOG functions and works as an organization. Evaluate. You can serve on our program committee to help shape how the program goes forward, and sponsor. We are a nonprofit organization. We rely heavily upon the support of organizations within our community. So sponsoring NANOG is critical to helping our organization work and function as it does. So outreach, what does NANOG outreach look like? Education is central to what NANOG is as an organization. We do outreach through colleges, universities, and affiliate NOGs. And we focus also on helping remote communities. We have a virtual platform that we built internally. So anyone who's watching our conference live can also watch it in real time online. And this is part of our outreach to get more people involved, engaged in the community. Because oftentimes there are people who don't have physical access to attend the meeting. But because of the way we structure our virtual program platform, they now have equal access. They can ask questions of the speakers, they can be involved, and if you can't see it in real time, you can then turn around and watch the talks afterwards on YouTube. So what is our focus in outreach? Again, there's 3 distinct areas: industry education for network professionals, education and career development for colleges and graduate students, and training for underserved regions within North America. I find it very interesting that in a country that is wealthy as we are, we still have millions of people who do not have proper and adequate internet access. And to me, not having that access means that you're not a fully engaged citizen and have access to all the things that some of us take for advantage. And the thing which is sad, when you live in a rural or remote community, those services are even more important to you. If you live in a city, you can easily access government services. You can drive in your car, maybe within a half an hour, 20 minutes, you're there. But if you live out in a rural community and you don't have access, you rely on something like the internet to be able to give you access to those services. And the very people who need it most don't have that kind of access. So it's something that I think is really important, and we try to support those efforts in any way we can. So NANOG's college program. So we have scholarship programs that we give out. This in 2021. 2021. That should be 2022. So these are the scholarships that we came out in 2022. We also have a college immersion program where a college can bring up to 5 students and a professor to participate within NANOG. In '85, we had Howard University. They brought in 3 students, all female crew, which was nice. In NANOG '86, we had 5 students from Boulder, Colorado. And at NANOG '87, we have a group of 4 students from Boulder. And those 4 students, Boulder, Colorado is that I know of, is one of the few universities that actually have a program in network engineering and network operations. But again, they have now a all-female crew that's come. So it's nice to see that it's pushing and promoting more diversity within our community. So new programs for 2022, which extended into 2023. We have a formal education program where we are looking and develop formalized educational content. The talks that we do is kind of a passive educational content. We're trying to focus on actually active courses that are designed to train and teach network engineers. A mentorship program. We believe that mentorship is key to helping empower the next generation. So we have volunteers within the community who are stepping up and saying, yeah, I want to participate. I want to volunteer. I want to help mentor the next generation of professionals. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me or go onto our website. There's a feedback button that you can click on real quick, and we can get you sorted and set up to be part of our mentorship program. And an Odds Bud program. We have some odd buds. There's 3 of them sitting in the back of the room. The Ombudsman group, I'll say Ombuds, it's critical to supporting our community. It's one thing to say that we support diversity, we support inclusion, but if we're not actively taking away to make sure that our community is safe and welcoming, then they become hollow words. The Ombuds are here to help create that sense of support, create and to help those if they find themselves in a situation where they feel that their rights or their personage is being violated. They have a group, a third party, independent, separate from NANOG, that they can go to and voice their concerns. So again, that's part of that whole sense of equality and representation, and hopefully it moves into full inclusion. So NANOG 87, what is particularly happening here? So as I mentioned earlier, we have 2 keynote speakers. Here's our first keynote speaker that you'll be able to hear, which will happen today shortly after the opening ceremonies, etc. Alid will be giving a talk. Then we have Michael, who will be giving a talk on tomorrow. Social events. We have one that's going on tonight at the Painted Duck. There's a social, if you're interested in kind of getting to know people and just having a little fun, I would really highly recommend that you attend. And then there'll be beer and gear. Beer and gear is the closest thing that we have to a trade show. It's really low key. It's a lot of fun. It's the history behind it is there were some sponsors who wanted to do a trade show, and the community said, not too crazy about that, but if you buy us a beer, we'll listen to you. And that's kind of how it all started. So go out, have a beer, see some of the latest gear, talk to some of the sponsors, and help support our organization. And then finally, we have the NANOG social itself, and it will be out the Velvet Underground at the Hard Rock Cafe. That'll be on Tuesday evening. So again, participate these, get a chance to kind of network and meet people in the community and just have a little fun. NANOG is about community. The people who've kind of helped form this organization are very passionate about what we do. And those that come and become a part of this community become equally as passionate. So with that, I would say thank you. Welcome to NANOG. Is anyone in here an old timer within our community, been a part of the community for a long time? If you have, please raise your hands. Come on, I know that there's more than that in the room. All right. Find someone who is part of the community, kind of glob onto them and learn more. I'm around for questions if you want to learn any more about NANOG or participate in any of our committees. Again, welcome. Thank you for coming. And do you have any questions for me in particular about the org? We have mics here. If you want to ask me a question, you're welcome to do so. All right. If not, enjoy the conference, and thank you for coming.